Welcome to the Loading Up podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brother Zay. Tonight you have with us Producer J.
What's up? What is going on, guys?
What's going on, man? So before we get into anything, let's talk about our sponsors and also liking and subscribing to the video. It's free. It helps us continue doing this so we can bring you all the latest gaming news and topics to you guys. We really appreciate all you guys for liking, subscribing, as well as rating on the podcast app if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We greatly appreciate it. And also, click the links in the description on YouTube. You can click the links for W Energy to get all your energy drinks. Don't forget to use code LUP at checkout. And until the end of this month, it's 20% off savings, so it's even bigger savings. Don't forget to also click the link for NordVPN. Hide your location, watch Netflix in Japan right from your home if you're in the United States. Whatever you decide to do, you can do it right there with NordVPN. They have a great deal going on. I think it's like 67% off if you click our link. As well as Starforge PCs. Get your pre-built and custom-built PCs right from Starforge. Just remember to click the link for those, and you guys are all set. All right, now that that's out the way, Producer J, talk to us, man. What you been playing? What you been doing?
So, I feel like I do the same thing every week. Like, I go through this whole rigmarole of what I've been playing and stuff like that. It's the same thing, guys. I'm very boring. I'll tell you that much. Like, I play the same thing, and I just try and power through. Same thing, Elden Ring, and Dungeons of Hinterberg. That's literally all I've been playing. I will admit, though, I was very close. I didn't buy it yet, and I probably will very soon. The Plucky Squire just released. I was very close to buying it, but I was just like, I'm not going to play it yet because I'm probably not going to play it anytime soon. And I'm also debating because it's not on... Well, alright, so it's on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch.
Okay.
But I'm torn because that's the type of game I would play on my ROG Ally. But it's not a play anywhere title, so if I were to play it on that, I will have to buy it on Steam.
Okay.
But I want to buy it on Xbox because that's where I buy my games. So I'm very torn. Although technically I could stream it, like I could do a cloud streaming from my console to my ROG Ally, so that would be an option. But I don't want to do that because I don't like streaming. Yeah, so I'm in a bit of a predicament.
What's the name of the game?
Plucky Squire.
Lucky Squire. I never even heard of it.
Are you sure? They
Maybe we
all right.
did.
So we talked about it very briefly when they announced it. It's actually coming to PlayStation Plus, which I'm upset about because I wanted it to come to Game Pass. Yeah. So it's like a pop-up book type thing.
Okay.
Like that's what it looks like.
Literally pulled it up on Steam right now just to see.
Yeah, and it looks it's very unique, and it's supposed to be like it plays like a bunch of different games. It's kind of like what's the game? It Takes Two. Have you ever played that?
Of course,
So
I love It Takes Two.
Yeah, so it's not exactly the same, but the way It Takes Two kind of does different genres within that one game, it's very similar. So like it does different genres. Like it plays like a Zelda, it plays like a side scroller. Yeah, so it plays like a beat 'em up, like a Castle Crash. Like it's very different styles, and I like the art style too. It's just, and it got good reviews, so I'm looking forward to playing it, but just not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Soon, very soon. Hopefully, in that time, it comes to Game Pass, but I doubt it. But I'll still buy it anyway.
Yeah. Support the devs.
Support the devs. But that's what I've been playing. Just Elden Ring. I'm trying to get. Remember, I last time I talked about it, I was trying to get like armor sets because I never really changed my guy or my build. So I'm trying to do different things, and because I did New Game Plus, now I got to redo it again. So it's like it's more like a chore than anything. But But yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
All right, not bad, not bad. You know, you gotta finish those games so you can start other games.
And listen, I got a bone pick with you, cause you've been sending me Kingdom Hearts stuff on TikTok, and it's making me want to play Kingdom Hearts, and I can't right now because I got other stuff to play. So I'm gonna need you to stop that.
It's not gonna happen. It's gonna keep coming.
It's gonna keep... And I have the killer. I literally bought it twice. I bought it on PlayStation and I bought it on Xbox because that's how much I love Kingdom Hearts. But I can't do it right now. I gotta wait till Kingdom Hearts 4 gets an official release date. Then I have to freaking hit the ground running.
I know. I mean, my algorithm, just trying to mess with you. My algorithm is now Kingdom Hearts.
I was gonna say, like, you probably got a lot of videos now because you keep sending them to me.
Tons between. I was sending them also to brother Tay. So it's between you guys. I'm like Kingdom Hearts all over my algorithm. It's hilarious. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's just funny.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, I guess I'll get into what I've been playing. So as you see, I've been playing. If you're watching on YouTube, I've been playing some Overwatch. You know, they just put on Game Pass and put extra skins in there for people who have Game Pass Ultimate. So I just wanted to.
For real? That's nice.
Yeah. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, of course, you link your BattleNet to your Xbox account, and then you get all these extra cool skins. And I just jumped in there because when Overwatch first came out, I put a lot of time into it. I think I have like 500 hours into like Diva alone. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Jeez.
In my defense, I was unemployed at the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you had the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I put a lot of time into the first Overwatch. And then when the second Overwatch came, it was just like, I played it, but not as much. So I kind of dropped it. And boy, I'm glad I did. It was infuriating playing. I was like, man, there's no teamwork. They changed the dynamic. You know, it's 5v5 now. It's 2 healers, 2 assaults, 1 tank. I just didn't like it. I wish the old, 2 tanks, 2 DPS. You know, I missed that. I miss the old like meta, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was alright. Like they changed even Roadhog. I play as Roadhog. I'm probably playing as Roadhog right now, as you see.
I think you are, yeah.
Yeah. So they changed some of his movesets, and I'm like, whoa, this is not how he plays. I used to be amazing with Roadhog. I came out there just healing randomly. I'm like, no, they changed it. So, I mean, it was pretty funny. But yeah, I've been playing some Overwatch 2. Also been playing on Xbox Space Marines 2, which is just completely epic. It's awesome. It's just straight.
By the way, did you see that? I tagged you on a Twitter post because I was trying to get us some headsets that were given out from Space Marine 2.
Yes, yeah, I saw all that. I was like, man, that looks amazing.
I know.
Yeah. I like to try to do those too, because like maybe they're fake, but who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Space Marines 2 is absolutely epic. It's like it's got that old school shooter feel, you know? It's just you against waves of enemies, and it's difficult. It's hard.
Yeah.
They really make you work for it. But it's having a blast playing that. And I'm waiting because we're waiting also to finish Divinity Original Sin 2.
That's right.
Our Sunday game is that, and once we finish that, we all have Space Marines 2, so we're gonna jump into Space Marines and do Space Marines, which is gonna be a blast.
It's how many players is that?
It's
I thought it was
players.
Oh, it's 3. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was 2.
No, it's 3 players because it's you and then 2 other like Space Marines.
Okay.
If you're playing by yourself. But when you're playing by yourself, they're useless.
Yeah.
They pick you up if you go down, and that's about it. But
yeah, it's like Gears of War. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you always play Call of Duty. Like I was playing a little bit today because today, meaning Thursday of the 19th, when we're recording this, the new season came out. Has a really awesome battle pass, so we were playing some of that. Yeah,
I really gotta play Call of Duty more because I freaking spent money on the freaking Cody Rhodes skin.
You don't even play.
And I don't even play, and it's most likely not going to carry over to Black Ops 6. So
no, it won't carry it over to Black Ops 6. It will still be available for Warzone.
I don't play
Yeah, this should be
Warzone.
there from Warzone and but yeah, for Black Ops 6 it won't be there.
See, that's why I feel like I gotta get my money's worth. Like I
And
spent money on it.
yeah, it kind of sucks, but at the very least,
I got a month. I got a month to get my fill.
well, whenever you want to play, just hit me up. I'm always down to play Call of Duty.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get right into some news. We got some news to talk about.
A lot
So
of it happened within like the past few days. Like
yeah,
literally, like I was wondering, I was like, well, like we gotta record the podcast. There's not much going on, and then bam.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what are we gonna talk about this week? And then boom, 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 boom.
One after another.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get right into it. So today, this news just dropped today on Thursday. The Xbox Ambassador program is closing after 13 years. And yeah, if you are an avid Xbox player, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you know about it. It's Ambassador program where they tend to do quests and questionnaires and surveys and have you just be a part of the community, a little bit different than just playing games, and even for support roles. So if somebody has a question, and if let's say Microsoft support was no help, they can go to the community. Maybe they had the similar issue. You can talk to Xbox Ambassador and see if they can help you along. So it's sort of like sub a sub community within the Xbox community
Hmm.
who helped out. And I was a member. I was just telling you, I was a member of an Xbox Ambassador program for a while. And ever since I got the PC, I've been, using it more often, doing more quests and doing more surveys and stuff, and just being a part of the ambassador community. And one thing that I really like that Xbox does is that on your Xbox profile, they give you these sort of accolades. And
Yeah.
I'll always have the Xbox Ambassador accolade on my profile to let you know I was an ambassador while it was out. So I think that's pretty cool that
That is cool.
they
Yeah.
do that. But yeah, this group is just ending, and I guess they decided it wasn't a fit for the business anymore, and that's it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just closed.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks because one of the things that Xbox kind of has going for it is the community.
Yeah,
So with like the ambassador program, it kind of gave the community a platform to basically help each other out
yeah,
and to kind of like not supersede, but like you said, like if Xbox support can't get to you or anything, like they can't help you, then you go to the ambassadors and they'll help you with stuff.
yeah,
Um, I guess Microsoft looked at it and was just like, we don't really need this because I mean maybe it was like they have, and that's one thing that Microsoft is proficient in is data. They have the data. They probably saw that not a lot of people are really using it to the point where it's like, why do we even have this? And I mean, you can argue like what does it really cost to keep this thing running? I don't know. I don't work for Microsoft, but
yeah,
I think it sucks in that it's one less official outlet that you can go to for help, because I know a lot of people run into issues. I see them all the time, that especially like on Twitter and Reddit and stuff like that, where people have issues with with their Xbox Live accounts, that
yeah,
like they got banned unjustifiably and stuff like that, and Xbox support is not really like giving them any answers or solutions and stuff like that. So they kind of turn to the ambassadors to kind of escalate or escalate it to wherever it needs to be escalated
yeah.
to rectify it. Um, Honestly, like I was, when we were talking about it before, I thought this was like already canceled. Like I didn't think that it was still going this long, because like I haven't really heard about it. Like, and granted, I don't use it, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
um,
it's been around. It's gonna be around until October 15th. That's the official end date. But there's also, if people are interested, I saw on Twitter, and what I'll do is once we publish the podcast, I'll put it in the comment section, is a link to unofficial Xbox Ambassador Discord. So if there are any Xbox Ambassador people out there, or just anybody who wants to still be sort of a part of that Xbox Ambassador community, you can join their sort of Discord server that they have, and still have a semblance of the Xbox Ambassador program available still.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even though that the official ambassador program is being discontinued, that doesn't stop anybody from like making their own like subreddit, Discord,
Yeah.
or anything like that. Twitter's I forgot Twitter group, I think it's called. I don't know. Yeah, Spaces, whatever that group thing is. They can still do that. It just would be not officially licensed, I guess. I don't know, by Microsoft or Xbox. It'll just be unofficial.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's still,
unofficial from the
yeah,
community.
it would still serve the same purpose. And honestly, that's probably the better option because I don't know about you, but whenever I look up like troubleshooting stuff, I always type in Reddit afterwards because I feel like Reddit will give me like the honest answer and the most in-depth answer that official channels won't for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
especially now because freaking I don't know if you've had issues with like anything Microsoft related, but it feels like it's almost impossible to get a human being on the other line because
in recent years, it absolutely is.
it's
Which is a shame.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks so much that like freaking they're relying so much on AI bots to try and figure out these complex situations. It's like it's not gonna happen. You need somebody there. Like I get if you want to like, get people through that first wave because a lot of times people just have nonsense issues that they're just let the chatbot handle it. But the fact that everything is through the chatbot, regardless of how complex it is super annoying. So yeah, it sucks that that's what's Xbox Xbox support has come to, but like I said, you still have unofficial channels that you can go through. So I would definitely recommend doing that after was October 15th, you said?
Yes.
Yeah,
After
so
October 15th, yeah.
yeah,
I'll
so
I'll I'll find the unofficial Discord, and I will put it in the YouTube comments, and even on our Discord, I'll put it in our Discord for our community members. So if they want to still be a part of that community, they can join the Discord.
yes.
All right. So on to the next. We have some leaks, potential leaks, and we can't show it for legal reasons because Nintendo's on a warpath recently.
Oh yeah.
Switch 2 has leaked online. It's sort of like a disassembled Switch 2. It's like the shell of the front, the motherboard, and what looks like two Joy-Cons or new
Yeah.
Joy-Cons, and it definitely looks bigger. I will say that about it. But it's interesting because somebody took the leaked images of the motherboard and the shell of the thing, and they sort of recreated it and in I guess 3D printed it and sort of recreated what it could potentially look like. So those pictures are out there, and of course with some liberties, because it's probably not gonna look exactly the same.
Right.
But this is very interesting because they can tell like how big the battery could potentially be, and they can tell that they're still gonna use the cartridges, so it'll be backwards compatible with the Switch, which is good news.
That is
Um,
good news, yes.
yeah, they can also tell potentially uh what chipset they'll use to see how powerful this Switch 2 will be. And according to the leaks and all the Reddit posts that we've seen online, it seems to be about as powerful as a Series S, Xbox Series S.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's gonna have 256 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, storage. Sorry,
I was gonna
256.
say RAM.
Oh,
That's
not
a
RAM.
lot.
Sorry, that's tons. That's ridiculous. No, 256 gigabytes of storage, which is a lot, and it's gonna support HDMI 2.1, which is like standard for the new consoles now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the RAM is 12 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
So either
That's
way, it's looking to, if these specs are right according to the leaks, it's looking to be definitely more powerful than the first Switch. And I don't know, what do you think? What do you think of these leaks?
so. All right. I'm I'm a little bit torn on the whole Switch 2 stuff because on the one hand, it's definitely needed because the Switch is grossly underpowered and but
That's
it's also
that's an
popular.
understatement.
Yeah, that's an understatement of the century, but it's very popular, so
Yeah.
a lot of publishers do want to support it. Just like I feel like it was the same situation with the Wii, where compared to 360 and PS3, the Wii was like heavily underpowered, but publishers still wanted to support it because it was the most popular console at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's a similar situation where you do want to make a more powerful version, so that way the publishers aren't freaking making sacrifices to get their games and yeah, to get their games on the platform and looking like shit. Like I, I can't get like Mortal Kombat out of my head whenever I think of like bad Switch ports. Like yeah, it's functional, but it looks terrible.
It looks
So
so bad.
it's so bad. Honestly, I mean, anyway, but yeah. So I can see why Nintendo would want to kind of make it easier for developers to port their games to the system without making so much sacrifices. Now, granted, it's still gonna make sacrifices. It's still a portable console. It's not a home console. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So it's not gonna be as powerful like a PS5 or Series X or anything like that. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I get the necessity of it. However, one thing that Nintendo fans have shown in history, they don't care about power. Like if you look at the GameCube technically, I mean, if you compare it to the Xbox, obviously Xbox is the original Xbox. That was more powerful. But between the PS2 and the Dreamcast and the GameCube, well, I mean, GameCube came out a little bit after. But that was the more powerful console. And it was also the worst selling console. Well, second worst selling console. The second worst selling console was the Wii U, which was also a more powerful version of the Wii. So like Nintendo kind of has a history of trying to make a more powerful version of their most popular console and it falling flat on their face. Now granted with the Wii U, there was a lot more going on with that attributed to it not selling well. It was also the marketing. People thought it was just an add-on. It wasn't. It was just the Wii, but then the gamepad was gonna be the Wii U. It was just bad marketing. Um, and then with the GameCube, I honestly really don't know why that didn't sell. Maybe just because the PS2 was just way more popular.
I think the
Um,
PS2 outsold everything at the time.
yeah, so maybe that it was just that. Um, so yeah, that could change with the Switch 2. And if they do call it the Switch 2, that will help. Because if they call it anything else, it might confuse people. Because that's what happened with the Wii U. Because people didn't think it was the successor to the Wii. They thought it was just an add-on. If you call it like, I don't want to, some people want it to be called like the Super Nintendo Switch because of like nostalgia reasons. But if they call it that, people are going to think it's just another Switch. And they're just going to be like, oh, I already got a Switch. I don't need another one. Because, I mean, the Switch
I
is
see
mostly
you.
for the casual audience.
So what you're thinking is if it doesn't have two, like Nintendo Switch 2, people would think it's just gonna be a different version of the Nintendo Switch.
Exactly.
I see.
Same way as the Switch OLED and the Switch Lite. Because
Yeah.
those are different versions of the same thing. So if
Yeah.
they call it the Super Nintendo Switch, they'll think it's just another Switch version. And I mean, maybe some people will buy it, but people won't think, oh, this is the next console. Like this is the next big upgrade for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so I think they might struggle with that, but overall I'm looking forward to it and I do hope that Nintendo just makes sure that their marketing is on point, because that's what's gonna make or break this thing. Because it could be the most powerful handheld on the market. I mean, I don't think so, because we have the
I mean,
ROG
yeah,
Ally and Steam
you
Deck
have
and
a
all that
Steam
stuff.
Deck and ROG Ally. I doubt it will be the most powerful. You
It definitely
know.
will be the most powerful, but for the casual audience, it'll be the most appealing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but I genuinely don't think it will sell as much as the Switch did. Now, that's not to say it's not gonna sell. I
No, it's
think
gonna sell. It's just
it's gonna
not as
sell a
much.
lot. Yeah, because I think the novelty of the handheld, the Switch, like I'm trying to think of the word to call it. Like it's like a handheld, but it's also a home console. Like I know there's a word for it. I just can't think
Like,
of it right now.
like the duality of it.
Yeah, that novelty of it has worn off, kinda, with all the other handhelds that have come out that can also be like a home PC replacement. Um, I think people kind of got over it, and now it's just gonna be like, okay, so people who care about performance and stuff like that, that's who are gonna buy it. Similar to kind of like the PS5 Pro, like the people who want that extra power, they're gonna buy the Switch too. But if, and granted, this is if Nintendo is still releasing games on the Switch, then they might run into issues, because then no people will be like, "Oh, I already got the Switch. I'll just get it for the Switch," and then you run into those issues. I feel like the only way that the Switch 2 or whatever it's called will be super super successful is if, and I don't want this, is if they cut off the Switch essentially. If they release just Switch 2 games.
They will
Now,
never
granted,
do that.
I know they won't do that. But
They
that's the
will.
only way I can see it being as successful or even more successful than the Switch.
I honestly,
Otherwise, it's just going to be just a tier below.
I don't think the Switch 2 will outsell the Switch. The Switch
No.
is the Switch is a powerhouse when it comes to sales. You know, especially with the light. They sell like hotcakes, for crying out loud. It's ridiculous. I don't think the Switch 2 will sell that much. I think it will definitely sell and it will sell well, but not nearly as much or even close to what the Switch is doing. And I think for Nintendo to abandon the Switch would be a big mistake.
It would be. I,
It
I
would.
agree with that. But if they want to sell, that would be the way to do it. I'm just saying, but
Nintendo doesn't really care about money all that much, and I say that all the time because if they did, they would, release their older games to sell. They wouldn't stop, other games from releasing. They
yeah.
they hate money. Nintendo hates money. They have to
It's
hate
it's
money.
so crazy that Nintendo makes so much. I remember, and this was years ago, that I saw something where like Nintendo can basically not output anything for like 10 years before they would start seeing like a decrease in revenue or something like that.
Yeah.
They make that much money. So
And as a company, they're willing to take pay cuts to keep people working.
exactly, the
So
the fact
they
that they can do that, it's
no,
just,
every company can do that. They just
you're
don't.
right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
They're greedy.
Yes.
The powerhouse in gaming that Nintendo is, that it could still be with the amount of stuff that they don't do. It's absolutely insane. And I think the Switch 2 will do well, but I don't think it will do better than the Switch. I think the Switch, at the time it was released, captivated the casuals to the point where now everybody seems to be a gamer. Although we all game, especially if it's like you game on your mobile, you're a gamer, you know.
Yeah.
I think now the casual market has sort of expanded so much because of the Switch. Um, Maybe those people will, you know, get a Switch 2. I mean, I have two Nintendo Switches. I'm probably gonna get a Switch 2. Um,
I have four.
Oh my God, you're four.
Yeah, I have mine. I have my two sons, and then I have my fiance.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally, like,
I may like trade in one of the Switches so that way we can get some credit for it to get the Switch 2 and just keep. When my wife has a Switch, she'll keep hers and then just get one Switch 2. I may do that, but either way, it will sell to the gamers.
yeah.
It will sell to uh, a portion of the casual market who jumped into the Switch. It will be backwards compatible. I think we see that in the leaks. And I think,
Literally, the only reason I want one is just so I can finish playing all the Pokemon games. Because the last one, what was it? Scarlet and Violet.
yeah,
It
Scarlet.
runs like shit on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
so I'm looking forward to this just so I can play it at a decent frame rate.
Yeah,
And
because
no,
it dropped
it's
down to like 5 frames a second.
yeah, it was really bad. I had to stop because I couldn't
I
handle it.
I
And
couldn't
it's
even
funny.
I couldn't even finish like the beginning. It was so bad. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's funny because like last week we were talking about the PS5 Pro and how like it's 60 frames per second worth it and stuff like that. But at least the Switch 2, I'm hoping, isn't gonna be $700. So
If it is, I'm not buying it.
yeah, no, hell no. It's probably gonna be around like 400 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 400 and it's not OLED, that's a shame.
Yeah, that's one thing that really hasn't gone like out of in the leaks. Like, is it gonna be OLED? I feel like it has to, in addition to supporting HDR. Because I mean, if you're gonna have um
I think it will because it has a HDMI 2.1. I think
that
it'll
yeah,
have
that's what I was trying to think like yeah, the HDMI 2.1 is for HDR and 120
4K.
hertz
Yeah, 4K 120. So
and 4K. Yeah, so
So
we'll
we
see.
hope we hope based on these leaks, we hope this is what the future for the Switch 2 is. At least 1080p solid locked 30 frames for some of these games instead of dipping down to 5 because that's atrocious.
Yeah.
You know?
I would like to see, and I said this last week, I feel like if Nintendo was smart, they would make it so they can sell a dock that will increase performance. Because they have external GPUs for PC. I don't see why that can't also be applied to consoles, especially the Switch. Like where you just dock it and then you get a performance boost while you're
Yeah,
docked. So, we'll see what Nintendo does.
definitely, we definitely will. Well, we're seeing what Nintendo's doing right now, and it seems like their lawyers are in full swing because they just decided to sue Pocket Pair, which is the parent company for the video game Palworld. They're indie dev, so they're a very small team. They're not too big, but Palworld came out to end this praise. Tons and tons of concurrent players when it came out. I think it was almost hit 2 million concurrent
No.
players when it came out. It came out on Game Pass as well as on Steam. Had so many players. They dubbed it the Pokemon with guns um, game,
I
and
remember when Brother Matt was talking to us about it, and we saw the first trailer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's Pokemon with guns." I was like,
yes,
"What?"
yes. I mean, yes, they're similar, but just like Pokemon, they take real life animals and they sort of like make them their own cartoony versions.
Right.
They don't. I don't think they even have a leg to stand on in this lawsuit against Pocket Bear. Yeah, it kind of
So
looks similar, but I don't think they really took their idea and decided to make money off of it. That's not what they did here.
yeah. So from what I understand, this isn't about like copyright because I remember somebody was saying like, "Oh, if Nintendo is really like about like copyright and stuff, they should be sued for copying like Dragon Quest because then they showed like a side by side of like all
Yeah.
the monsters in Dragon Quest and how it's similar to like the Gen 1 Pokemon. But
Yeah.
yeah, from what I understand, this isn't about copyright, it's about patents. It's
Yes.
basically Nintendo's patent trolling Pocket Pair, right?
Pocket
That's
Bear.
what it's Pocket Pair. Um and basically trying to say like they patented certain aspects of the game, not necessarily designs, but like mechanics. So I would assume, I don't know, I haven't read the thing or if they even said it in the
No,
lawsuit itself.
they haven't released the. It hasn't been made public yet, so we don't know exactly what it is. But it is definitely infringing on patents. That's
Yeah,
all they could tell.
I would have to assume it's probably like, oh, you like they probably patented capturing monsters with a ball. Like something stupid like that where it's like, really? Like that's what you're going to go after? And that's probably why it took them so long, because they were trying to find some loophole that can get them to take down this what they deem as a copycat. Because it was funny. I was watching a video not too long ago about Nintendo's um I don't want to call it a war, but it was basically like they have a love-hate relationship when it comes to like copycats or fan games and stuff like that, where people would like mod their games and release them, and then sometimes they wouldn't go after them, and sometimes they would if they had something coming up that would that the fan game would not infringe, but like eat into sales. So Palworld's popularity might eat into Pokemon's sales, and maybe they have data that could prove it. I doubt it, but they'll argue that. And I don't know. This is just Nintendo being Nintendo. They
What Nintendo can do is make a game that people actually want to play instead
a
of.
Pokemon that doesn't suck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Make a Pokemon that doesn't suck, that doesn't run like shit on your console, and then maybe people will actually want to play.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like that's kind of the angle they're going for. But we just got done talking about how Nintendo makes freaking money hand over fist, regardless of this stuff. So it's like,
And that's what I'm saying. They could make a ton more money if they just release games that run well and that play well. You
can you
know?
imagine if Nintendo, instead of freaking suing them, they approach Pocket Pair and be like, "Hey, can we make a game together, or maybe like a mode with Pokemon, so that way we can make more money? Because this is a popular game. Why not? Maybe exclusive for the Switch." Like, there's so many ways they could have gone about it that would be very favorable to both sides, but they chose the most bullshit and dumb way to go about it, and they're probably gonna lose, honestly, because I feel like like you said, they don't really have a leg to stand on.
They don't. They don't. I think a judge will see that. We'll also see exactly what comes of this, because of course the lawsuit hasn't been made public, so we don't know exactly all the details. Um, Pocket Pair, the CEO of Pocket Pair, definitely came out and made a statement saying that he regrets the lawsuit and hopes that he could continue working on the game. They could continue making the game better for the fans and for gamers, because that's what they're there for. They're not there to worry about petty lawsuits. They're there to make the game better so that where gamers have a fun game to play, which they are, because I just was part of the Xbox Insider program that they released sort of a game update, and I was part of the testing
Yeah.
for it. So they're continuing to work on this game, Palworld, and they're continuing to improve on it to this day. And that's all they want to do. They just want to make the game better for players.
Yeah, I mean, it's very admirable of them to, I mean, I know they released a statement, and they're not gonna like just pause everything, and they're also not gonna just like give up.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for them. I hope that they can defeat Nintendo. I was gonna say Sony, because I feel like this is a Sony move. But yeah, I hope they defeat Nintendo with this, because this is so stupid and it's so unnecessary. Like, why would you go after something just that it's not even the same game? Like, the only thing that's very similar is the designs. But obviously that's not like it's in fair use. Like they're not exactly the same. They're similar, but not exactly the same. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that people are calling it Pokemon with guns that bothers them. And it's so Nintendo, come on.
In fact, let's move on because we'll be here yelling at Nintendo like the old man
Yeah,
yelling at the sky all night.
right.
All right, so let's move on to Sony. Apparently released a firmware update in Asia. It was version 1.621, where people are noting a visual downgrade, and people are wondering, was the downgrade done after the release or the announcement of the PS5 Pro to entice people to try maybe get PS5 Pro because their PS5 now seems to be looking like garbage. It's absolutely insane. So now this is of course PlayStation blog that people were talking about it, and Sony hasn't responded, but it does beg the question: are they on purpose so to generate more sales of their latest console? I know pre-orders haven't even dropped for it yet. If I'm not mistaken, it comes out this coming week. The pre-orders, so I know it was not super well received. With the gaming public in general, of course, you still have people who are gonna buy it, yes, but for basically a 50% upgrade compared to what's already out there, I don't know if it was good enough to go out and pay $700 for the PS5 Pro. So maybe do what Apple does with their older phones, send out an update that sort of makes it really bad and makes you want to think about upgrading.
I posted a meme on Twitter that like PlayStation is becoming Apple, like in terms of like their strategies and price points and stuff like that. It's very eerie how similar they are now. Personally, I think this probably is just like a mistake. I mean, it happens all the time. They probably pushed out an update and it was like half baked or something like that. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because it seems so wrong to do something like this. That like you said, it's very Apple of them to do something like this.
Yeah, but when have we ever known Sony to be doing consumer friendly things?
You're right. It's not known for them to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just kind of like hearsay. We don't really know. It's funny because you mentioned how like apparently now the PS5 is dog shit compared to PS5 Pro. Like that's where you want to be. And I was watching a video. You ever seen Video Game Donkey?
Of course.
Yeah, I love him. And he put out a video recently about like the PS5 Pro and how like basically the public sentiment regarding the PS5 Pro is that like, oh, now it looks great. Like all these games are gonna look great, and then the PS5 it always looked dog shit. Like, come on, like why? And then he was being like sarcastic with it, but he was like showing PS1 graphics and stuff like that. Like this is the PS5 compared to the PS5 Pro. Now apparently the PS5 is not good enough. Even though for 4 years it was the greatest console ever, now it's not good enough. So it's just funny how like all it takes is just one word from Sony to be like, yeah, PS5, that's in the past. Get the PS5 Pro. And then they're just like, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, now the PS5 is outdated, it's obsolete, all this stuff. I need the new thing. And it's like, you were using it just like earlier. Like, why you acting like you weren't gonna use it anymore? and some people did. Some people are actually like they're selling their console now, and then waiting like what 2 months for the PS5 Pro. And I'm just like, what? Why? Why are you doing that?
That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, they're not playing it anyway. They don't have any games to play.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, if you're really selling it now, that just shows you how much time you actually play it, which is not a lot. So, yeah, I
No,
mean,
so like you said earlier, Sony is the new Apple. People just want to say they own the new iPhone or they own the new console. You know, they don't really play their games. They don't really play games.
yeah,
They don't. Their games don't sell well. We know that from Square Enix because their sales have dropped
yeah,
significantly. You know, so there's data that PlayStation players don't play their games.
yeah, and even Square Enix. I mean, they didn't say it outright, but they kind of hinted that like the PlayStation exclusivity deal was the reason why their financials are not as good at right now.
Exactly. That's why now Final Fantasy 16 is on PC. I think it came out a few days ago.
Yeah, or yesterday actually, or I don't
Well,
know. Well, by the time we're
well by
recording
the
this,
time,
may
by the
yeah,
time you hear this, it's a few days ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um. So yeah, there's different strategies that they're going about. I don't agree with. Um. And I don't think there's a reason for the Pro. I don't think unless you're like a real big enthusiast about PlayStation, you would probably get it. I mean, they just announced the well, I guess we'll talk about it as we talk PlayStation. Um, the PS5 Pro having a 30th anniversary collection. In the
Well,
style
it's
of PlayStation.
PlayStation devices. It's not just the PS5 Pro. It's
That's
also
right.
like the
Also the regular PS5. It's also the
portable and the
Portal,
controller.
DualSense, even the Edge as well. Is all getting the PS1 makeover where it's gray. And people were not cool about the PS5 Pro and all the nonsense about the price and everything. But now that it's gray, the people want
I
it.
gotta have it.
You gotta have it. They're like, damn
Yeah,
it, you got me.
it's so funny seeing people just openly just freaking. I don't want to be vulgar, but they're doing things that you would normally do for your significant other to Sony, and just to put it lightly. Um, yeah, so it's just they're not hiding their bias. They really love and get off on giving Sony money, and they don't care how many people know. Like they're just open with it because that's the norm. You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
freaking simp for Sony because that's cool now.
yeah. No, there are people online literally talking about, oh, don't be mad at the price, you're just broke. You
Yeah.
know, that's so.
Literally, it was funny. Right before the PS5 Pro announcement, I posted a tweet. I was like, because somebody posted all the like a drinking game or something like that, and I posted my four things that was absolutely gonna happen once the PS5 Pro was announced. One of them was um the it's actually a good upgrade. It's worth the price. The other one was just say you're broke. The other one, I gotta look at it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but literally every single one came true. So I was just like, these people are so predictable. Or another one was just like, oh, you don't have to buy it. It's just like it doesn't matter. It's like you're so predictable. Like these. It's like Sony fed them these lines to put out. Like they released a guideline to say what do you respond to when you see this, and then you put that out, and it's like so frustrating. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it does look cool. I still won't
It's
freaking
just
buy it.
gray.
It's
It's
just
just
gray.
gray. That's it. There's
And
nothing different. It's just gray.
now, all right, correct me if I'm wrong. So they for the original PS5, they released like plates, like the side plates,
Yeah,
as like the special editions or whatever that you could change out.
yeah. You
The
can buy the side
PS,
plate separately.
yeah, you can't do that with the Pro, right? Or the Slim.
I don't think so because those plates are like covering the whole system, whereas the Slim and the Pro have those like
Like the
lines
split, right?
split into them. So, I mean, they would have to make all new plates for the Slim and the Pro models. That's even more money that of
Yeah.
course people will be willing to spend.
They're probably
Um,
just like, yeah, we're losing money on these like plates that we can just sell a whole console for.
yeah, that too. That too. Jesus. I mean, with the price of the Pro, and people talking about like, oh, you're just broke. Yes, we don't have to buy this console, but that doesn't mean we're just gonna sit silently by and not criticize these awful practices by this company just because we don't have to buy it. You know, we're gonna sit here and voice our opinions on it and speak with our wallets if you don't want to buy it. Um, I
Yeah,
think it's just absolutely crazy, and in particular with this limited edition, because it is limited edition. There's only 12,300 units, and the number of the unit will be marked on the console, so it's gonna be very limited. Sony's gonna have to do something to combat scalpers.
I
If the
was
scalpers
just
get
about to
a
say that.
Yeah, if the scalpers get their hands on this, they're gonna be selling this console for at least $1,200.
Yeah, easily. The scalpers are gonna have a field day with this. So like
Yeah.
that's why I was saying like the people who are like getting super excited about this probably not even gonna get one because
Oh, they
that's
will,
just
because they
the
will pay
nature.
the 1,200 or
Well,
1,500
yes,
from the
you're right.
scalper.
And sadly enough, I know people who have done that where like with the
Oh,
base PS5 where it was like scalpers were getting it. I know people who spent an extra $100 $200 just to get it.
are you
And
kidding
it's
me?
sad. Yes. I know it sucks. But that's how it is.
That's crazy.
But
Absolutely wild. So
I mean,
the pre-orders are go out September 26th. If anybody is interested in the PS5 Pro model and or the Portal or the limited edition controllers, the DualSense, they will be available to pre-order on the 26th of this month, and they come out November 21st, which is my brother's birthday. Shout out to Beware. Um, yeah. So if you are interested, you can pre-order it.
and if you
I will
have
make
a
fun of you, but you can't do it.
if you have a base PS5, you still can get the side plates that are the same color. It's from a third party, but you can still get them.
How
It's like
dare
$40 or
you?
something like
How
that.
dare you say I don't have enough money to get this? I'm kidding. All right, let's move on to some Kingdom Hearts news.
Here we go.
So the article reads, this article is from IGN. Let's give them some credit, from Ryan Disdale. Um, After 22 years and wow, 18 games, Kingdom Hearts 4 will finally move the franchise story toward its conclusion. That's right. We're talking with uh, the actual creators and co-directors and co-writers and lead artists. Um, they have talked to Young Jump, who translated, because of course they are Japanese, and they have told us that they're talking about ending the story and sort of doing a reset to try and allow people to jump into Kingdom Hearts 4 without fully knowing the whole entire story. So it's an easier way for casual fans to just pick up Kingdom Hearts 4, jump in and play and enjoy the game. Now, to the resident Kingdom Hearts super fan, what
Um,
me?
all right, so I do feel like it is a good move in order to get people new fans because I mean, friggin' how long has it been? It's been almost 20 years since the first Kingdom Hearts. So,
Yeah,
um, actually no, it's been
22 years.
yeah, over 20 years. So yeah, it's been so long since the first Kingdom Hearts that to expect newcomers to understand everything that's going on, even with the HD collection, it's hard. It's a big ask. And trust me, I've been playing every single Kingdom Hearts game multiple times, and I still don't really know 100% what's going on. Like it's very confusing. I get that. So I do feel like it is time to kind of reset. Um, However, it's a bit weird to do it now. It's just I feel like they had multiple opportunities to kind of like end it. Even with Kingdom Hearts 3, they could have ended it. But they didn't. They kept it open because it makes money. So I get that part. Um I feel like they kind of had to do this because there's only so much you can do with this. So I'm trying not to get into spoilers. Granted, even
I
if I
mean, it's
said
been a
anything, it's
while. Yeah, people
yeah,
probably aren't even gonna know or remember.
yeah. I mean,
So just speak your mind, brother.
just even from the freaking like actors' perspective, like they freaking had to change the main antagonist Xehanort to oh, what's his name, from Back to the Future, who played Doc. I'm blanking on his
Oh,
name.
oh my God, me too.
Right? I can't remember his name. Why I can't remember his name?
It's gonna
Anyway,
come to us. It'll
yeah,
come to
so
us.
they had to replace him because the original actor passed away. So it's like it's been that long that this series has gone on, and it's funny because you said like they had like 18 games, and it's
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4. So it just shows you how many like sub games and like spin-offs and stuff like that that they've had. And I to this day I still don't know why they decided to split everything between like a console and then the mobile games and then the DS games, and then it's like it's so scattershot.
Yeah, and
Like just
it's Christopher Lloyd, by the way. Sorry.
Christopher Lloyd, there you go. So yeah, the series has gone on for I don't want to say way too long. It's gone on for a very long time. So I can understand where they're coming from and be like, okay, we probably want to reset this, maybe have a new character and stuff like that. The Disney stuff is staying. Like that's not changing. They'll
Yeah.
probably change the main character and do something new. I feel like they teased it with the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, where the secret ending, quote unquote. But yeah, so I'm still excited. They pretty much said that Kingdom Hearts is gonna continue because it just makes too much money. They're just gonna refresh it and make it hopefully less confusing.
I mean, who knows?
Um,
In 20 years from now, maybe we'll have a Kingdom Hearts 5 with
I
10
yeah,
other sub games that went
right,
along with it, you know? I mean,
yeah,
there's potential for so many different storylines for Kingdom Hearts and different people who want to make their own spin on the game so that way it can stay alive forever. Because there's, I don't think there could ever be an end, you know? They can go
no,
on for as long as they want.
yeah, they could go on as long as they want, and honestly, I feel like throughout the whole process, or not process, but like the series itself, they probably didn't think that it was gonna last this long, which is why it feels like so disjointed and it feels like a lot of the story is just tacked on. It's like, oh, you thought this? Well, actually, it's this. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's just they're going along and play and adding stuff as they go. One thing I do, and granted, this is mainly about like the game itself, not necessarily a series. I hope Kingdom Hearts 4 focuses more on like the Disney side because I feel like with Kingdom Hearts 3, it was too much on I call it the Final Fantasy side because it was just nothing really Disney um affected it. Like it was just kind of like there as like the context of the game, but most of the story was taking place with non-Disney characters. And I felt like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the game. Like the whole point is to mix them
Mix them up.
and yeah, to get like that aspect of it and have a good blend of each. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 did that really well, but Kingdom Hearts 3 for whatever reason they lean towards the other side. So I hope 4 is like a good balance of each. And I don't think this 4 is not going to be the end. I don't think 4 is the end. I think it's just heading towards the end. And I think maybe Kingdom Hearts 5 will be the end. I don't know.
We'll
And
see.
and and with the other 10 games that they release. Cuz I think they are releasing more games that on like the phones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's been taking so long in particular because the the game is being made in Unreal Engine 5, and when it comes to Unreal, it's especially Unreal Engine 5, it's hard to develop games on there even though they have so much assets to use for developers. It's still tough because it's still new and they're still running into bugs and fixes, and
It's yeah,
they have to really develop and really uh code a lot of different things for to use effectively this engine. So I think it's still some time away before we see Kingdom Hearts 4, and again, even more time for fans to actually play it, because the trailer that they showed, um,
I was like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
yes, it was,
Oh God.
and it was that trailer was made in Unreal Engine 4, so they somewhere in those 3 to 4 years they switched to Unreal 5. Um, we'll just have to wait and see what comes of this game. I mean, obviously the hype is there. People love Kingdom Hearts series. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably my favorite Kingdom Hearts game.
That's
I'm
most people's favorite, yeah.
yeah. I absolutely love. I mean, I played the first one and it was good, but Kingdom Hearts 2 was just way better.
Yeah.
Um, so to finally see that we're coming to a close or coming toward that those final chapters, we're winding down the series to where we can close the story. It's gonna be nice. It's been too long, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think a reset is necessary at this point,
Yeah,
but I don't think 4 is gonna be like the end. It'll
I
probably
mean,
be the
probably not.
start of the end.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, like you said, it is very long, drawn out, confusing. You can sit here, you could watch a whole movie. You could watch a 2.5 hour movie explaining Kingdom Hearts, and you probably still wouldn't get it.
Yeah. This
You
is a
know?
lot
It's
of information that
yeah,
you'll probably forget. So it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I said, I feel like a lot of this was just pieced together as they were going. So
yeah. That's fine. We'll see. We'll see if we get a date, if we get maybe another trailer, something from Kingdom Hearts other than just speaking to the creators of it. Because although speaking to these creators and them giving us some information is great, we definitely want to see something tangible, something that says it's coming. You know?
yeah, and I mean honestly, like they could take as long as they need because I remember when it was a meme that Kingdom Hearts 3 was never coming out, and then it did. So just I have faith that it will. Kingdom Hearts 4 will.
Of course it will. Of course it will. We just gotta be patient. All right, let's jump into some rumors because we have some PlayStation game rumors, and I guess so. The first rumor that people are talking about is going to be potentially released when they do the September State of Play at the end of this month. Is Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be remastered, and
Yay.
uh, I'll go first. I want to talk about this. Why? We have Horizon Zero Dawn was the complete edition. It came out on PC. You know, why are we remastering something that's already been ported to PC and runs decently on the PC? What is the whole point of remastering this? I don't get it. I I played I played Horizon. I played the first one. I didn't get too much into the second one because I did not enjoy it. The first one was all right. Um, I just it was very lackluster to me. You know, I didn't feel anything playing it. Not like when I felt like when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. Like I loved Ghost of Tsushima. But Horizon Zero Dawn, it was just like, whatever. It didn't interest me enough to want to play Horizon Forbidden West. So why are we remastering a game that came out what 5, 6 years ago? I mean,
That's
even if it came out 7 or 8 years ago, it doesn't even matter. Why are
yeah.
we remastering games that already has a complete edition, a PC port? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I feel like a lot of people they don't understand why, especially Horizon. I mean, it's already been a meme that friggin' Horizon is like an industry plant. And people or Sony want Horizon to be like the next big game from Sony, and people are just not vibing with it. Like it's not a horrible game, but it's just not what people expect or what Sony wants people to expect. And I think they're leaving so much on the table with other games that deserve a remaster. Bloodborne, which has been like so like on the top of everybody's list of games that they want remastered or ported or
Remade.
updated, remade, all this stuff. And Sony's just like, nah, we're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah.
So it's so wild that like Horizon of all games is getting this treatment, and it's just I don't know what's going on at Sony. Like they just people make jokes, but it seems true. They call it the remastered Station 5. Like that's literally what they're doing. They did it with Last of Us. They did it with Spider-Man. I mean,
I'm gonna do with The Last of Us Part Two.
yeah, they're
But
probably gonna do it Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part Two does not have a PS5.
They have
Uh,
a upgraded version that you can play on the PS5, but it's not a PS5 version
no, it's a PS4 version.
that runs better on PS5. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll probably do it with The Last of Us Two.
They'll have Last of Us Part 2 remastered. Yeah, and then they did it Until Dawn. It's just like Sony is just obsessed with remastering games from the PS4 era that don't need remastering. And it's just like of all the games, like they have a freaking treasure trove of IPs that they could potentially remaster
you
for
could
the
do
PS5.
you could do Killzone, Jack and Daxter. You can do
Yes,
Cyclone Filter. You know, you could do SOCOM. You
there's
can do
so many games.
so many things, and you decide to do Horizon.
Horizon.
Come on
And
now.
yeah, and I mean, we'll talk about it, but that's not the only one that apparently they're gonna do.
What is the other
Um,
one?
so there's rumors. We don't know for sure. We'll see in the again a rumored state of play that's gonna be happening within the next couple weeks. Um, Days Gone might be also remastered.
Oh man.
Of all games, why Days Gone? And not that I hate Days Gone or anything like
Isn't
that,
that
but it's
on
just like,
PC as well? Why do you need? I
yeah,
don't get it. You don't need remasters of these games. It just
yeah,
doesn't make sense to me.
yeah. And then there was another rumor saying it might be God of War,
Yeah,
which is also on PC.
I saw the God of War 2018 God of War
Yeah, yeah,
remaster rumor. Of course, these are just rumors. We take it with a grain of salt. We don't know exactly what they're going to announce at this uh potential state of play, but none of these games need a remaster.
not even that they need. They're not worth remastering. Like, why waste time and effort remastering these games when like it didn't sell well to begin with? Like, what do you think is gonna happen when you re-release it for a new console that has even less of a player base to buy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like what I don't know what's going through Sony's head. Maybe they're just like, if they keep trying, maybe eventually people will catch on. It's like, no, that's not how it works. I don't know, but yeah, the remastered. Honestly, you can say that about this whole entire generation. This is the remastered generation.
Yeah, it's not been super great.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't. That's why another reason why I don't see the need for the PS5 Pro, especially when there's no actual games coming out. Nobody wants to play Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. You just spent like at least after taxes and everything, you're spending $800+ on a pro model console to play Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. It's not. It's not it.
yeah,
It's
this
not it.
yeah. It's not.
Just that sentence made me want to throw up.
I mean, granted, we don't know. They might offer like an upgrade path for like $10 or whatever, but still, the fact that it's even a thing is just like it's just a waste of time, honestly. Like, how much realistically is Sony gonna make off of this remaster or these remasters? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe they're making enough to where they can keep doing it, so they just keep
It
doing
feels
it.
like, yeah, it feels like just a quick buck to make off of the fanboys that would just buy anything. So
Yeah.
it's like they're just taking advantage of it. Like, oh, they'll buy it. Like, we'll get enough of them, and it won't cost too much to remake this stuff. So I don't know. It's just it's annoying, and I would prefer if Sony would just. I mean, and I know they are, but just focus on new stuff, or if you want to make sequels, make sequels. I would have preferred the Days Gone 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. But I mean, a lot of people probably would have preferred that.
Yeah.
But
Or if it's a God of War, a new God of War, you know?
a new God of War, I'm sure that's in development as well. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like now, especially with the whole live service stuff, Sony is kind of like backed into a corner, and they're gonna break the glass of bringing back all their not famous. Well, I mean they are famous, but like fan favorite IPs to kind of fill that void that has been plaguing the PlayStation lineup for the past year or so.
it's gonna continue until at least March next year.
Yeah, you're right.
So we'll see more from hopefully the state of play. We don't even know. Has it even...
Yeah, we don't even know if it's gonna happen. They'll probably announce it like the day before, and then
Yeah.
that's usually how it goes.
Maybe because this week is sort of like the last week besides the following Monday, the last week of September. So maybe Monday we'll get an announcement, and maybe like Wednesday morning on the 20th
Probably.
we'll have like, or even Thursday the 26th, because we know Thursday is when the pre-order goes out for the PS5 Pro. So maybe
You
they'll
know
do
what?
it that morning.
That would be the smart thing to do. It's probably not gonna do it though.
That's funny.
But yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully next week we'll have more information, and we'll probably be talking about it. So
Definitely will. Definitely will. And that's it for the news. That's all we got this week. A lot of PlayStation stuff. Hopefully we get some more clarification for the Switch 2, because I'm excited about that. And we'll see about this showcase, or state of play.
yeah. So that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can like and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share and rate us on your favorite podcasting app, wherever you're listening to. And don't forget to support our sponsors, W Energy, NordVPN, and Starforge Systems. And remember to use code LUP at checkout for W Energy. And I think that it ends next week, right? The end of September, right? That's the last week.
The end of September, the 30th, is the last time for the 20% off.
Yes, for the 20% off. So get your 20% off while you still can. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Laters.